Hey guys, welcome to Smart Interviews YouTube channel. I am Vinay. In this video, we are going to discuss Codechef Starters 147, Division 3, second problem, Truth Tellers and Liars 101. So you are a traveler. You are at a junction of two paths. One leads to eternal happiness and the other to doom. Nothing but you are at a junction. There are two paths. One leads to happiness and one leads to doom. Nothing but sad. You are at this position. And there are also n plus m people. At the same junction, there are n plus m people, where n of which always tell the truth. Nothing but n people will always tell the truth, and m may tell the truth or lie. All of them are aware of which path leads to belief. You don't know which is a truth teller and who is not. You will ask some randomly chosen X people the following question: which among the two paths leads to eternal happiness? So you will ask the question that which among the two paths leads to the eternal happiness. So the thing is, you have to find out, is it possible for you to be sure which paths leads to eternal happiness? So the ultimate thing is, you have to find out which path leads to the happiness. If it is possible, you have to find the minimum X where you can be sure of path regardless of which X people you end up asking, otherwise print -1. Nothing but you have to find out this happiness path such a way that you need to ask the question which among the two paths leads to eternal happiness, only X people. So you have to find out the minimum value of this X to find out the happiness path. If it is possible, you have to print this X. If it is not possible to find out the happiness path, just print -1. So moving to the input format, you are having t number of test cases. Each test case is having n comma m integers. Output format is you have to find print -1 if it is not possible to find out the happiness path. You have to print the minimum value of x. Nothing but what's the minimum number of people you are asking this question to find out the happiness path. So let's see the sample input and output. So the first test case, they're having n plus m people. So totally we are having n plus m, nothing but 3 people. N plus m. Totally we are having 3 people at the junction. These 3 people know the happiness and the doom path. In which path there is a happiness and which path there is a doom. So you have to ask the question. The question is nothing but which among the two paths leads to eternal happiness? Among these 3 people, you have to ask the question and you have to find out the happiness path. So first, let's say there are 2 paths, P1 and P2. So you are at the junction. These 3 people are at the junction and you are also at the junction. So you'll ask one person that which path will give you the happiness. So one person will tell that this path will give you happiness. So while asking the first person, can you be sure that this will definitely go to the happiness path? This P1 will go to the happiness path. Are you sure? No, because there is one person M which may tell truth or lie. We'll assume that he is telling lie. So it will not lead to the happiness path. But there are also chances that he may tell truth. But we are not sure that definitely this P1 will go to the happiness path. Right? So I'll ask one more person. So the another person is telling that this path will go to happiness. P2 will go to happiness. Second person. I'm very confused now. If you ask the first person, he is telling the P1. When I ask the second person, he is telling P2. I don't know who is telling truth and who is telling lie. Right? What I'll do? I'll ask the third person. The third person is telling that this P1 will give you the happiness path. This P1 will give you the happiness path. So, can you able to find out the happiness path now? Yes. If you observe here, 2 persons will definitely tell the truth. So, this P1 will definitely go to the happiness path. So, this M person, one person is telling the false, nothing but this path will give you the happiness. So what's the minimum number of people you have to ask the question to get the happiness path? The minimum is 3. Minimum is 3. Okay, let's see for the next discuss. Let's say totally you're having 3 people. Same, you're having 1 plus 2 now. 1 plus 2. Nothing but 3. So you're asking the first person, he's telling this will go to happiness. You're asking the second person, okay, with this, can you be sure that P1 will go to the happiness? No, because he may is telling truth or lie. And you ask the second person, he is telling that this path is going to the truth. P2 will go to the truth. But he is telling truth. Let us assume that he is telling the truth. Second person is telling P2 will give you the happiness. You're very confused now. So you will ask the third person. The third person is okay. He is telling false. He is telling true. He is telling truth. But still, you don't know that he is telling false and he is telling truth. Okay, let's see. The third person is telling that again false. That means P1 will give you the happiness. Actually, P2 will give you the happiness. P2 will give you the happiness. So the P1 is telling that. So the third person is telling that P1 will give you the happiness. Can you conclude that? If you observe, let's see. So you think that, okay, 2 persons are telling P1. That means there are 2 liars. So one person will tell truth. So you assume, can you assume that this is the happiness path? If you assume like that, what if the third person is telling that P2 is happiness? P2 is happiness. Will you conclude P1 is happiness? If you conclude P1 is happiness, actually it is doom, not a happiness. Okay, for getting more clarity, let's take one more example. Let's take n equals to 4 and m equals to 10. So there are 4 persons who will tell truth and there are 10 persons who will tell either truth or lie. So from this junction, P1 and P2, let's say if 4 persons are telling P1 will give you the happiness and the 10 persons are lying, 10 persons are lying, then P2 will give you the happiness. So can you conclude that P1 will give you the happiness? Can you conclude that P1 will give you the happiness? Because only 4 people are telling the truth. If you conclude that 4 people are telling the truth, so that I can assume that P1 will give you the happiness. But what if remaining 6 people are telling the truth? Now here we have 10. Among these 14 people, 10 are telling truth, 4 are telling false. You'll assume that these 4 people are telling truth. Can you assume like that? No, right? So we cannot find the happiness path when the number of liars are greater than n. When the number of liars are greater than number of truth tellers, we cannot able to find out the happiness path. Okay, this one is done. What if number of truth tellers are equals to number of liars? Is it possible? Let's see. Let's say I have let's take n equals to 5 and m equals to 5. There are 5 truth tellers, 5 liars or truth tellers. So from this path, I'm telling that this is happiness, but this person don't know that. The person who is standing here don't know that this is a happiness. And P2 will give you the do. Okay, let's see. Among these 5 persons are telling P1, 5 persons are telling P2. Can you able to find out? Can you able to find out? No, right? if you're telling 5% are telling P1, 5% are telling P2, you don't know which 5 are telling truth and which 5 are telling false. So it is also not possible if the number of liars are equals to number of truth tellers. So among these two conditions, you cannot able to find out the happiness path. So I'll print -1. If the number of liars are greater than or equals to number of truth tellers, you'll print -1. That is not possible to find out the happiness path. But if you take one more example, if you take number of truth tellers are 10 and number of liars are 5. Observe carefully now. This is happiness, this is doom. But the person never do that. So now let's take. The first person is telling truth. This will go here. And the second person is telling that this will go to happiness. And this person is telling that happiness. And the next person is telling P2. This person is telling P1. This person is telling P2 is happiness. This person is telling P1. And this person, next person is telling P2. If you observe carefully here, until this point, until you ask 10 people, you don't know that which path will go to the happiness. Now, 5% are lying and 5% are telling truth. So now, can you tell which will lead to the happiness? You don't know that which 5 are telling the truth, right? You don't know which 5 are telling the truth. So to find out the which 5% are telling the truth, that means definitely there should be more than 5 people who are supporting one path. If there are more than 5 people who are telling that this path will give you the happiness, then definitely that path will go to the happiness. Let's see. Totally, how many layers you have? Totally, you have 5 layers. Listen carefully. Totally, you have 5 layers. So the first one is telling that this will go to happiness. And the next one is telling that this will go to happiness. You will not trust it because both of them may tell false, right? He is telling false. He is telling false. He is telling false. Can you conclude? After telling that 5% are telling Peter will go to happiness, you will trust it? You don't trust it because you don't know that this 5 are telling true or false. So next person telling P1, 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 P1. So now when the next person is telling P1 will go to happiness, what can you conclude? Here, more than M people are telling to P1. That means if you exclude these 5 people, assume that these 5 people are liars. Can I say that this person is telling truth at least? Yes or no? We have only 5 liars. People will not tell more than 5 liars. So 5 people are telling that P1 will be the happiness, but you still don't trust them because you don't know whether they are telling truth or false. But when the 6th person is telling the truth, even if you exclude these 5 liars, then can you assume that P1 is telling truth? P1 will lead to the happiness? Yes. So nothing but if M people are supporting not M plus 1 people supporting any path, you can conclude that it is a happiness path. Is it true? If you observe here, M people are telling the P2, okay, P1, 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 and P1. So 5 people, now 5 people are telling the truth. But is it sufficient? Is asking the 5 people sufficient to get the happiness path? No, because the next person will tell P2. He'll tell false. He'll tell false. He'll tell false. 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 So totally, how many people you need to ask? Nothing but M into 2 people. M into 2 people plus 1 will give you the right path. Simple. If you are asking M into 2 people, let's say half of them are telling the P1, half of them are telling P1, and half of them are telling P2. Half of them are telling P1. In the worst case, the maximum number of X value. In the worst case, half of them are telling P1 and half of them are telling P2. So when the next person comes, you can decide which is happiness. If the next person is telling this is happiness, you can conclude this is happiness because the liars will not be more than 5. The liars will not be more than 5. So when a 6th person is also telling the same path, then you can conclude he is telling truth. So everyone are telling the truth. So this will give you happiness. This will give you the happiness. So totally how many people you need to ask? Nothing but M into 2 people. If you ask M into 2 people, still you were in the confusion. In the worst case, if half of the people are telling P1, half of the people are telling P2, still get confused. But one more person is asking you the same question, which path will give you to the eternal happiness, you will get a clarity. If he supports P1, then it will lead to happiness. If he supports P2, then it will lead to happiness. So how many people you need to ask? M into 2 plus 1 people, minimum number of people to get a clarity that which path leads to the eternal happiness. So the first condition is you have to check this condition for the invalid case, whether if it is a not possible case. If it is possible, you have to find out M into 2 plus 1. Nothing but the minimum number of people you need to ask to get the happiness. Okay, let's try to code it. So if you observe the input format, you're having t test cases. So for each test case, we're having two numbers, n comma m. So what is the first condition we have to check? First, if number of layers are greater than or equals to number of truth tellers, then we have to print minus nothing. But if n is less than or equals to m, then we have to print -1. Else, how to get the minimum number of x people? M into 2 plus 1 is nothing but the minimum number of people. Let's see. Sample is getting successfully executed. Let's submit it. That's it. The code is successfully get submitted. And if you're interested in programming and want to become a good problem solver, we have a 3 months long course to master data structures and algorithms. For more information, you can click on the link in the description. And if you like the video, consider liking it and subscribe for more such content. That's it for this video and have a great day.